very quickly as well, people. Latest news. Oh, we need caps. Latest news. Let's do the thumbnail. Let's do the timestamp. I wouldn't mind Drewsbury Hall, but I wouldn't say Xhaka replace me. He can come and be part of the squad. Quite underrated player. I don't think he's amazing, but I think he can get a lot better. I think he's decent still. I'll take Drewsbury Hall for the squad. I don't know about replacing Xhaka, but yeah. First thing I want to draw you lots of attention to, Saka, Martinelli and Saliba, Arsenal's contracts are a delicate balancing act, people. Right now, we're top of the league, 4 points clear of Man City and Tottenham Hotspur. Obviously, the young players, William, Saliba, Martinelli and Saka are shining. Saka finished 8th on the Copper Trophy thing. Martinelli's scoring goals. Saliba, finally, after a long period where it looked like he might stay, he might go, we're finally over the hill, excluding this contract stuff, people. And there's rumors in the back burners of Gabriel, of Xhaka, of Ramsdale, all getting new deals, as we could have expected. All three are in contract talks with the club. It seems trite, I can't say that word, to say the club should extend their deals. That much is obvious. Arsenal know it, and what's more, they're confident they can do it. The subject of how and when those deals might be agreed, however, is rather more complicated. So yeah, I'm trying to scroll out through the toss, people. Arsenal's challenge is to strike a balancing act to agree all those important contracts without upsetting the new wage structure they have so painstakingly implemented. But it comes with the territory. You're going to have to give man big wages. Look at what Haaland's getting. I'm not saying, definitely with what we've been doing recently, we've put mediocre players on average wages and struggled to get rid of it. But rewarding players, giving new contracts, putting down top money in terms of a transfer fee for players, and obviously giving them deals that they deserve. It has to happen, really. So, yeah, by all means, these lot deserve new deals. And you'd imagine Odegaard's in line for a new deal in a few years as well, really. Or him, Ben White, Odegaard, Ben White. Jesus has just got here, but probably him, Tomiyasu, Ramsdale, as we've said previously, and you can see here. But yeah, time is of the essence. Although there has been suggestions Saliba and Saka's contracts may run until 2025, they only go as far as 2024, even with clauses. In Saliba's case, his deal actually expires next summer, 2023, but Arsenal hold an option to extend until the following year. Likewise, Saka's deal does not extend beyond 2024. Martinelli's contract expires in 2024, but Arsenal have the option of a further 2 years. So with that, Saliba and Saka is more priority. You know, for Saka, for me, it's a case of when, not if. Saliba, I'm confident, but if I'm him, I'm running it down as long as I can. You've got a World Cup, you're playing well. Back of your mind, you weren't always in the plans. You can get more money and things like that, get a very important contract. Martinelli's, we've clearly got a lot of wiggle room, really. Although there's enormous focus on all three of these players, each case is unique. Negotiations with Saka are the most advanced. Arteta has described him as described himself as very confident an agreement be reached, a sentiment Saka has echoed. Arsenal prioritized Saka's contract above all others during the summer, obviously, because Martinelli's form weren't what he was doing now. Saliba, Arteta planned to use him, but he weren't what he is now to Arsenal. Saka was, so okay. And made significant headway during the summer. It now appears a question of when, not if, a contract is finalized. In Martinelli's case, it is still relative early days. That's partly because Arsenal have a more secure position. The 2-year option would take his contract up until 2026. Nevertheless, negotiations are underway on a revised deal that reflects Martinelli's improved standing as a regular first-team player. Like Saka, Martinelli is clear he wants to stay at Arsenal, which gives the club significant reassurance in negotiations. Some fans may wonder why Arsenal are contemplating giving Martinelli a new deal, given he only signed his last in 2020. Wasn't that Saka as well? And is theoretically under contract for another 4 years. However, those contracts are not simply about holding on to players and protecting the club. They are agreements made in good faith, and it is implicate that good performances will be rewarded. That's true. Arsenal could simply sit tight and activate the optional extra years, but what would that do to the relationship with Martinelli and his agents? One issue that Arsenal face is that a new deal set a precedent for the next. Already, the forward pair of Balogun and Nketiah have taken advantage of precarious contract situations to win lucrative new deals. With the media full all over reports of those salaries, they become reference points in the future negotiations. Arsenal will know that whatever salary they reward Saka will doubtlessly be cited by Martinelli's agents, as we've discussed before. Of the three players, Saliba's negotiating position is arguably the strongest. His stock seems to rise with each game. Don't know about the Leeds one. The option in his contract takes it as far as 2024. But in this peculiar scenario, preserving, perhaps even rebuilding, the relationship with the player and the agent is of paramount importance. Saliba is still on the contract drawn up by Hos Fahmy and Raul Sanye in the summer of 2019, though there were clauses built in to ensure his remuneration. I know what the word means, but I don't know. Rose, obviously, just get more peace. Rose with his development, his reps will still feel there's significant room for improvement. It's worth noting that all of these players have a chance of World Cup involvement. Saka and Saliba appear certainties to be selected, performing on that global stage. I mean, apart from Saka, maybe Saliba, but Saka, I mean, Saliba and Martinelli don't expect them to be main players like that at the World Cup. You'd expect Saka to play a decent amount if he does go with England. I say if maybe Ben White should go as well. Could see their value and their subsequently their demands rise again. Where possible, Arsenal would be well advised. Smash the like button, people, to make significant progress before the tournament kicks off in Qatar. In each case, Arsenal will make an evaluation based on the player's age, contractual situation, development potential, standing with the coaching staff, and statistical profile. Technical recommendations will be made by Edu and Arteta, while Director of Operations Richard Garlett will be charged with drawing up terms. There is autonomy, but there is oversight too. Every major stage of contract talks involves dialogue between the management team, the chief executive, and the board. Obviously, we all remember we had the Champions League wage bill on the Europa League budget. Obviously, Pepe was costly and it didn't work. Aubameyang's new contract didn't work. Ozil's contract didn't work. Lacazette, 52 million, never got 20 league goals. Praise him, man, for working hard. Good player, but didn't work. So, yeah, I think it's a bit different because these players deserve it. But, you know, it is what it is. And if we qualify for the Champions League, there's more peace as well. The challenge Arsenal may face is that should they qualify for the Champions League, players and agents may expect Champions League wages. Arsenal hope to mitigate against that and have discussed the inclusion of performance clauses related to CL qualification. In doing so, Arsenal could avoid a costly disparity between their financial commitments and their European status. They are happy to pay Champions League salaries, provided they're actually in the Champions League. A new contract for Aaron Ramsdale is also on Arsenal's agenda. Although he only joined the club in 2021, he has since established himself as number one and is a regular part of the England national setup. There's acknowledgement on all sides that he should be rewarded with a salary more in line with the first choice keeper at a top six club. Another issue for Arsenal is the domino effect. As soon as they give out one contract, other players and reps will inevitably come knocking. Tomiyasu signed for the club on a relative modest salary, and should he regain a regular place, he will hope to see that addressed. Patino's contract expires at the end of the season. Arsenal have an option to trigger a 2-year extension, but there's a deadline on that clause, and no contract talks have yet taken place. Arsenal's position in the summer was to focus on transfer business rather than contract renewals, but it's created something of a backlog. And as you know, Patino's probably, you know, it's got 2 years, you know, Saka priority from what we've read, Saliba next, Martinelli, Ramsdale, Patino because the contract's running down. And then you've got the Tomiyasu's, the Ramsdales, the Ben Whites who are under contract, but in terms of rewarding people, doing things, people. So, yeah, it is what it is there. So, yeah, I think that's that in relation to them contracts. Flicking back over.